angry, and I'm supposed to say, oh, I'm not angry, I'm not angry. And I get up on the stage, and during the debate, the last debate that I won, the other debate, I skipped because I wasn't treated properly. And we have to remember, when you're not treated, it's true. And by the way, they got lousy ratings, okay? We have to remember, which I knew would happen, and they would have broken the record, but we have to remember, when you're not treated properly, you have to sort of do what you have to do, and that goes for the country. If we're leading our country and we're not treated properly, like the way we've been treated by Iran and many other nations, we have to worry about our country. We have to do that. The nicest part about the debate situation was that we raised $6 million in 1 hour for the vets. 1 hour. So that was a great thing. But bottom line, I see all the hats, make America great again. Jerry, when you ask why, we want to make America great again. That's what we want to do. It's very simple.
I mean, how often do you see a presidential candidate giving money away instead of taking it? I think that's wonderful. And we've got a group. We've got a group here today who's going to receive the second disbursement of that $6 million that was raised the other night. If that group would come on the stage now, it's called Partners for Patriots.
Oh, they're over here. Here we go. Come on, why don't you get right in the middle? Get right. Fantastic. So maybe tell us just a little bit about yourself and what you do, because, you know, we vetted for the vets, but we vetted very carefully, and the people that are getting this money are tremendous people. So what do you do?
We train service dogs for disabled veterans to help them live their daily lives. One that you met, Todd Landon, that needs a dog, you know, had 21 surgeries. This kid has been through so much, you know, serving our country and fighting for us.
So with 100,000, you can do a lot, right?
Yes, sir.
It's just such an honor. It's so great. So thank you very much. Use it well. Say hello to Todd. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you, honey.
There's a beautiful Rottweiler right here, but Secret Service wasn't too excited about bringing it up on the stage. But he's gentle, I promise. I don't know why there was a fear, but we, you know, we're facing a crisis in this country with ISIS, and all the intelligence experts tell us that the ISIS will most definitely infiltrate the refugees that are coming to this country. ISIS has more landmass now than any terrorist organization in history. They're beheading Christians. Tell us how you would handle that problem, and tell us how quickly you think you'd be able to fix it.
Well, it's such a big question now. Who would have thought this would have happened? I mean, we've destabilized the Middle East totally. When we did Iraq, and I was against Iraq. You know, I'm a strong guy in the military. I don't think there's anybody, I always say, the most militaristic of all. And I want to build our military, Jerry, so strong, so powerful that nobody's going to mess with us, and they won't. But I said, look at all that press back there. I said to Reuters, actually, and others, early on in 2004, 2003, the war is the wrong thing. You're going to destabilize the Middle East if you go take out one of the two, meaning Iraq or Iran. So we take out Iraq, and what a mess has been created. And then when we got out of it with Obama, the way he got out of it, by announcing a specific date, the enemy pulls back. They say, I can't believe he's saying this. And then they go to town after we leave. It's just I can't use the term a comedy of errors, because there's nothing funny about it. What's gone on is so sad, and the decisions are so sad. Now we've created and helped create this massive migration, and plenty of countries have made a mistake. You look at what's going on in Germany, it's a total mess. I mean, they're having riots over there. The crime is through the roof. And every country, Brussels, has anybody been to Brussels? I've been to Brussels a long time ago. It's so beautiful, so everything. It's like an armed camp now. You look at what's going on, it can't happen. So I wanted to create, and I suggested, create a safe zone, because we all have heart. Create a safe zone. We've got to get the Gulf states, who are tremendously rich, who frankly are not taking anybody, and they're not spending money or much money. And they're not taking anybody. They got to fund it. We got to get them to fund it. We're protecting them. We're saving them. Let them fund it, because we're funding everything. And that's why we owe $19 trillion, because we make all stupid decisions. So we get them to fund it, and we create a big safe zone in Syria, or a number of safe zones, so that people stop. Now, they've done this migration through Germany. Nobody knows who the people are. And we all have heart. I think it's sad to see. But when you look at that line, when you look at that massive migration, you see so many young, strong men, right? I mean, it's young, strong. And I said to myself, first time I noticed it was early on. At first you say, well, you know, it's a little unusual, because all of these, it just seems to me, and you look at it, young, strong men. So now we're going to take them into our country. We've already started. Thousands and thousands. And we don't know. Are they ISIS? Is this a Trojan horse? What's going on? You look at what's happening in other countries. We're not going to take any if I'm there. And I'll tell you something. Anybody that comes in, sadly, I have to tell you, they're going back. They have to go back. They have to go back. So there's no way, Jerry, and I've gone to the top law enforcement people, and I've seen them, and I've read about them, and I've read their statements. The top people, they say there is absolutely no way that you can tell where these people come from. They have no papers whatsoever. There's no background. There's no background checks. It's like starting off with a person from zero. They have no idea. We cannot afford this as a country. We cannot afford it from an economic, or from, perhaps most importantly, from a security standpoint. So we just can't do it. And interestingly, as you saw the other day, Sheriff Joe from Arizona, now, right? He endorsed me, and so did, and when Sheriff Joe endorsed you, you know you're the strongest on, I will tell you, the whole immigration thing, how that worked out, illegal immigration. We're going to have a really strong border. We're going to have a wall. People are going to come in, but they're going to come in legally. They're going to come in legally. But we got the endorsement. And Sarah Palin, and this gentleman, one of the greats, and we got Willie Robertson, too, who's a friend of my boys, and a great shooter. They go hunting together, but Willie was great, too. So, and I think Sarah's coming tomorrow. She's going to be here. She's going to be on the Today Show, actually. And that's going to be very exciting. So we look forward. She's going to be on Monday on the Today Show, so that'll be very exciting.
Yeah, Willie Robertson's a good friend. His son and his daughter-in-law go to Liberty. I had to mention that and get a little plug. But you know, back in the late 70s, my father was criticized because he saw a candidate who was able to pull voters from across the aisle, from the other political party. He saw a candidate who was able to draw people who had never voted before across all demographic lines. It was Ronald Reagan, and he was criticized because Ronald Reagan was a Hollywood actor. He had been divorced and remarried, and my father was a pastor, and Jimmy Carter was a Sunday school teacher. And he said, a lot of folks said, how can you support? And all you had to do is look at, he said, Jesus said, render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's. That means be a good citizen. That means when you walk in the voting booth, you choose the candidate who is most qualified to run the country. It's like when you have a sick child, you choose the doctor that's most qualified to treat that child. You don't necessarily choose the one that shares your faith. And that was what he told everybody, and people listened. And, Jimmy Carter was a great Sunday school teacher, but look how he did as president. But we see 60% of Republicans who say that the Republicans in Washington have betrayed them. And, they make promises. They make promises on social issues, and they've been doing it for decades. They never seem to come through. And, I think you're the first candidate since Ronald Reagan who's bringing in new voters, bringing them from across the aisle, But we've got to get the Republicans who made the promises to start honoring their promises. And what's your thoughts on that?
Well, one of the things that I found so interesting, because I spoke the other day at Liberty, and it's an amazing place. What Jerry and Becky have done is absolutely incredible, and they've taken over from their father, and it is so beautiful. And breaking the record was very important to me. And you know whose record I broke? My record from 4 years ago, so I'm happy. I thought I would have broken somebody else's record. But the interesting thing is that Jerry has every single candidate goes through Liberty University, right? Everybody, because it's an amazing place, and it's a packed house, and these are fantastic young people, and I guess some other people than young, but mostly young people. They're amazing people. And they all came through. And when Jerry endorsed me, it was such an honor for me because he sees everything. And you know, Jerry is, and he's doing this as an individual, such an honor for me. And when I look, and he said one thing about me, and he said great about everybody, honestly, but he said something about me that I like better than anybody else. He said, I most resemble his father from the standpoint of my ideas, my attitude, my way, and I thought that to me was the greatest compliment, okay? I thought that was better than anybody else's compliment.
Well, it's true. I mean, my father was, he gave away so many scholarships to help young people that he almost bankrupted the school. And my mom would never let him have the family checkbook because he'd give money to whoever was in need, and there wouldn't have been enough money left to pay the bills. So that, when I heard all those stories about how you've privately helped people, it really did remind me of that. And so, but you know, we got so many people out of the labor force now. We hear reports of 5% unemployment, but it's probably, when you count the ones who have given up, it's probably over 20%. How quickly do you think you could get those folks back to work and get those jobs back from China and wherever they've gone?
So when they just did the polls, CNN did and others did, they do polls, and I love these polls. I like them because I'm in first place. If I wasn't in first place, we would be tied. But one of the things that they now start doing, they have these sub-tabs and they have everything. You know, it's funny, I watch all these candidates. They spend millions of dollars on polling. And I have a lot of money. I don't spend anything money. I get it from those guys back there. See all those cameras? They do polls. They do polls. They say, is he a nice guy? Is he a terrible guy? Is he a wonderful guy? Is he smart? Is he tall? Is he short? What's he like? You know more about yourself. You don't have to spend money. I watch these guys. They spend all this money on polling, Jerry. Candidates, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And there they are right there. The networks do it for free. What the hell are they doing polling for? So, no, it's true. It's true. Save your money. But, you know, it's sort of interesting, though, because they did a poll, a big poll, and on the economy, I came out first by so much higher, like triple and quadruple. It was like, you know, they're down at 6 and 5, and I'm at 58 and 67, and, I mean, numbers 68, 67%. That's with 15, 16, and 17 people in the race. But we have to bring back our jobs. And by the way, on the polls, #1 on security, #1